If it's one thing that we've learned at Fox Marin over the years, is that when it comes to Toronto real estate, everybody has an opinion. And those opinions can be oftentimes very wide-ranging and dynamic. But I think if there's one thing that we can all agree upon, is that Toronto real estate never, ever ceases to amaze and is absolutely never boring. And we could just look at thus far into 2023 as a case study of that statement. There's some amazing data that's been put out by the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, and we are going to take a deep dive into the numbers thus far this year into 2023, and then try to extrapolate what that will mean for the future of 2023 for the back half of the year. My name is Ralph Fox, and I am the broker of record and co-founder of Fox Marin Associates. We are a boutique residential real estate located right here in downtown Toronto. And this is my personal playlist, Real Talk, where we look at bigger geopolitical macro trends that are affecting the market and what impact that could have on the future of Toronto real estate. If you're watching this for the first time and you are enjoying the content, please smash that subscribe button down below or smash on that like button. I never get tired of saying that. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's look at our first graph here. And this is just the month over month activity of average prices here in the 416. And you can see the four different asset classes. Detached in blue, semi-detached in orange. You've got townhouses and then condos at the bottom there in yellow. And we can see that detached homes now at $1.9 million on average. Who would have thought that we would see these type of numbers starting out 2023? If we look at in the orange semi-detached, we're just shy of $1.4 million. Townhouses at $1,068,000, and pulling up here, we have condos now at $784,000, just shy of $785,000 for the average condo in downtown Toronto. Just amazing to see these numbers at the midway point of 2023. If we look at transactions, which is the next slide, again, we can see just this amazing uptick in monthly sales in Toronto. At the top here, we've got condos just really starting to take off now. And then we have detached, and then we have semi-detached, all and townhouses, all trending upwards. So really interesting to see the number of transactions moving up. And in conjunction with that, we have days on the market. In this slide, you can see trend lining down, the peak being in January, or the low, I would rather say, being in January. And then we can see the market continuing to get tighter and tighter as transactions are ticking up. At the same time, days on the market and property days on the market are definitely on a downward trend. So things are continuing to tighten and prices are continuing to rise. And then on this last slide, this is really important to take a look at. It's months of inventory. And this is something we talk about all the time here at Fox Marin. And this just basically represents, if you took everything on the market and nothing else came out as of today at the current rate of sales, how long would it take everything to sell? We are now at 1.51 months, which is just amazing to see in May, given that we were at 3.5 months of inventory in January. So huge shift in months of inventory, in the rate of sales with days on the market. And you're seeing prices and transactions definitely moving upwards. So we continue to see very strong demand, and that's being faced really with very, very little supply. Very few people are wanting to list their properties. And so that is really constraining the market as we see it right now. This all just comes down to, okay, well, this is where we're at, which is pretty astounding. I think any economist, any developer, any industry watcher, any real estate agents, basically any homeowner, if you had interviewed them December 2022 and asked where they thought we would end up midway through the year, I don't think anyone would have suggested, no matter how bullish their viewpoint on Toronto real estate, that we would be where we're at. So just amazing to see the market having behaved this way. But the next question is, well, what does that look like for the rest of the year? And that's a great question. And judging by the way everybody has continuously been proven wrong, it's going to be really difficult to try and project what is going to happen. It seems like it's impossible to project anything on a short-term frame line. However, when you look at the inflation narrative peeking its head back up, when you see unemployment remaining really low and you see GDP outperforming this far into the year, where all of the experts and economists thought we would be, it definitely seems like the Bank of Canada is going to have some room to continue ratcheting up interest rates. And, we've already seen that in June 7th, and there's a lot of talk about another future raise of maybe 25 basis points happening in July. So interest rates will continue, it looks like, to uptick, which is really surprising because it looked like we were going to be in a pause for a while, and then maybe even in the back half of the year start to see a bit of a trend line down, or maybe that would happen in early 2024. But now all bets are starting to be at least second guessed. I won't say off the table, but second guessed for now. So that could definitely bring a little bit of uncertainty into the market. And I think you also have to pair that with seasonality, just knowing that we are moving into summer. And I think it's fair to say that we were having a late spring in Toronto real estate, which is showing the surge of demand. But traditionally, summer is a really slow time, and August is basically when most real estate agents go away on vacation. So I think things will start to slow down. I think there'll be a level of uncertainty on the macroeconomic front. And I also think that, no market, even the Toronto real estate market, can't shoot straight up forever. And so at some point, it's going to have to start to level off. And I think it's going to let off a little bit of steam over the summer and maybe even flatline, throughout the fall. So I don't think we're going to see this type of surge continue in the market. I think certain aspects of it or certain segments of it may continue to outperform. I'd look at, Riverdale and Leslieville for low-rise houses to continue to do really, really well. But I think for the average days on the market and the average property type across the 416, I think it could start to level off a bit. And that would be a really healthy thing for the market. So we'll see, in 6 months, we can rewatch this video and see where we end up. But I think if it's one thing that's clear is never, ever, ever second guess or doubt the resiliency of the Toronto real estate market. And, a lot of the projections going into the year about, a dramatic collapse in pricing, that just never happened. And quite frankly, I don't see it happening. And so at best, we're looking at a leveling off and a little bit of, the market taking a bit of a break. But it'll be really interesting to see how things play out. But, long term, we couldn't be more bullish on the prospects for the Toronto real estate market. That's where we see things in a nutshell and how things could play out over the next few months. And I think a little bit of a break and a little bit more of balanced market conditions would be very welcomed and healthy thing for the market to experience. My name is Ralph Fox, and once again, I'm with Fox Marin. And if you find any of this content helpful, please be sure to smash that subscribe button. If you have any comments, we'd absolutely love to hear from you. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.